Hello and welcome to the Easter Monday edition of Newsbeat. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, here are stories making headlines today. What's possible for embattled Asin North MP James Jachi Kwason, having filed 2 motions at the Cape Coast Appeals Court seeking a releasement of his appeal and a stay of execution of the High Court's July 28 judgment. 46-year-old farmer Alex Kwenu in the Asin South District of the Central Region shoots his wife after she failed to give him 2 cedis to buy alcohol. Also coming up, 6 suspects arrested in a special operation by the police in connection with a series of robbery attacks, including carjacking in the Greater Accra and Central regions. Details coming up shortly. Stay with us. Hello again. A 46-year-old man, Alex Kwenu, a farmer and a hunter at Asin Bipokoko in the Asin South District of the Central Region, has shot and severely injured his wife, Victoria Esiedu, 46, after she failed to give him 2 cedis to buy alcohol. The victim, narrating the incident, said her husband had earlier requested a torchlight to go on a snail hunting expedition. The suspect, who is currently on the run, returned from his hunting around 8 p.m. on Easter Saturday and demanded 2 cedis for alcohol, but when the victim could not afford it, an argument broke out. According to the victim, the suspect then threatened to kill her and, without provocation, shot her 2 palms after missing the targeted neck. Now, the victim is currently in critical condition at the St. Francis Xavier Hospital in Asin Fosu. Meanwhile, the Asin South Police Command has mounted a search party for the suspect. Let's take you up north, where police in the Nadole district of the Upper West region is on manhunt for suspects believed to have killed a private security man, Amora Germani, as investigation progresses. The body of the deceased was placed in a sack and buried in a story building.
Especially where the body was found. It's a nearby compound house closer to where he was working. It has put the whole neighbors in the area, they are all, in fact, saddened about the situation, and they don't know what actually happened. And the police, as of now, cannot confirm what has led to the security man, who is around 62 years, what caused his death. And they cannot point to a particular incident. So what they are doing now, the investigation is still ongoing. To unravel all this, what could have caused the death of this security man, who we are told has a wife and 2 children, that we are told. The whole neighborhood is saddened, and the police is still going on with investigation. We are hoping that in the shortest time, they will come out to tell us what they have done so far about this incident. But I must say, this it's not the first time we are recording such incidents in WA. For the past month, we have recorded similar incidents where a child was killed and buried in a developing structure around the same area, which has brought a lot of eyebrows to residents around the area. So all of them are alert now and calling on the police intelligence to go into the matter and find out why this is happening. Is it contract killing or... And interestingly, when the body was retrieved and opened, all his parts was there. You could not point to a particular part that is missing, and you may what you call associate the death to a ritual killing or something like that. All the parts of the body, nothing has been missing, everything is intact.
Right.
So it has got a lot of issues, Kenneth, in Wa.
Still on crime, 6 robbery suspects have been arrested by the police in connection with series of robbery attacks, including carjacking in the Greater Accra and Central regions.
In a statement released by the Ghana Police Service, the 6 suspects were arrested through its target intelligence-led operation between the period of April 15 and April 17, 2022. The 6 suspects, Jibrila Musa alias Danturi, Hussein Sampa, Daniel Akwa, Anthony Saki, Michael Ojo, and Adebanjo were arrested at various locations across the 2 regions. According to the police, items retrieved so far from the suspects are 1 locally manufactured gun, 1 foreign pistol, a cache of ammunition, 2 iPhones and 4 wristwatches. One of the stolen vehicles have also been retrieved. They further explained that the suspects have admitted during interrogations to their involvement in robberies over the years and are helping the police in investigation. The service has assured the public of their commitment to ensuring a safe and secure environment for all.
The Ashanti region now, where residents of Pechi number 1 and number 2 in the Amansia West district of the region have protested over what they describe as neglect by successive governments on the deplorable nature of the road network in the area. According to the residents, they have been voting consistently for the New Patriotic Party since 1992. However, they have not benefited from the national cake whenever the party is in power.
Hundreds of inhabitants of 2 communities, Pache number 1 and 2 in Amansia West district of the Ashanti region last week, protested the poor road networks within their communities. Clad in red and black amid singing and shouting, the group walked through the dusty road from one end to the other to drum home their concerns. According to the residents, despite numerous assurances by successive governments, their roads still remain in a deplorable state. Residents say accidents and broken down vehicles have become rampant off the deplorable roads. They assert that residents of the 2 communities have lost interest in buying cars because of the nature of the road network in the area. They have vowed to embark on a series of protests to compel authorities to fix their roads since the situation is making life unbearable. The residents lamented that drivers have taken advantage of their plight and are charging higher fares. Residents of the 2 communities, Pache number 1 and number 2, together with their traditional rulers, have vowed not to partake in any political activities and will also not allow any politician to campaign in their communities if their road network is not fixed before 2024.
Pechi and some villages nearby are in dire need of basic amenities. Our roads are deplorable, hampering the transportation of goods from here to Kumasi to sell. The situation has made armed robbery rampant. The government should help fix the roads to bring relief. The red outfits signify our seriousness about the concerns raised. Due to the deplorable nature of the roads, it takes about 3 hours to reach the district assembly. The NPP government should fix the roads between now and 2024 if they want to remain in power. The government should come to our aid. We work and pay taxes. As such, we also deserve development across our communities. Why do we vote and don't get development? Every month, we record over 4 accidents on the road. We shall boycott elections in 2024 if the roads are not fixed.
Residents of Asikabiu community in the Nsawam Aduajiri municipality have presented a list of 11 social challenges to the municipal chief executive to be addressed. These include lack of telecommunications network, potable water and educational resources.
Elders and residents of the Esikabio community in the Nsawam-Edwardri municipality of the Eastern region are turning up for a meeting with the municipal chief executive, Isaac Boabeng. It is the first of its kind for residents of this community to have such stakeholder conversation over their welfare with the head of the local authority of the area. One after the other, 11 challenges are outlined. These include lack of potable water, a modern public toilet and telecommunications network, as well as limited electricity penetration.
What's the digitalization of the postal address? Young was on a bobia from Patamia city. A scout book room, a Kamako said, will charge out. Now, no being a teaching, we should maybe say what's war behind Yamodaru. The born with the run in a show, Manima Ogong. That's right, honorable say. Say, Uko Yobri Bia, won't cross Adia Libya. 1 person will be day, Wabayamount. And she make ye pa, young Manoma, even ye register and see me. Young Yakita number, young Crawford, make a fake, and you're rare one, because ye nibi. Think Crawfordian, you have family a day. Yet the end is answer one family, once one register with him, no, and yet amount. Yes, honorable. Send a wababes in a fee. Oma Yansuso, Yansanka, Yanchefa, na enye pepepe.
The fourth challenge, as the Mrantihini is outlining, is that they want digital addresses. They don't have addresses, house addresses or this digital addresses. So they've had to fall on people from elsewhere to then use their addresses to register, to re-register their SIM cards.
Others are incomplete classroom block and unavailability of residential address system, football park, teachers' accommodation, ICT lab, and a clinic. When the meeting was over, I was taken on a tour to ascertain the challenges at first hand.
The water that the children drank, see the water they were drinking. I was wondering, what water? Where are you going to drink the water? Put up. And they say, oh, they started laughing at me. So I follow up to where the source of the water. That day, I was down. Say, hey, is it the water that they are drinking? And they drank it lovely. And in fact, it pushed me. So I started looking for avenues so that I will get people to come and also look at this. And if any philanthropists, any well-meaning Ghanaian, that should help us through.
The chief executive committed to ensuring all these challenges are addressed.
We, as an assembly, what we have to do is to tackle it one after the other. We can't. Rome was not built in a day. We are going to take it one after the other. First, the need for teachers' quarters is paramount in terms of education because they commute from Nsawam and Otukajo, which is far distance, and we are going to make it possible to change that facility. They have an existing project which is long overdue. So I and my team will come and assess it. They will write to get fund so that we can able to change that facility to teachers' quarters. They have roofed the school. They said they are left with the screening and the windows, and they also need IT center, which is also good and very important, necessary for the student. Now we are in a digital era and electronics era. So when they are going to write exams, they write with the people who have the same ICT facility. So it's needful, and we are going to do that.
From Esikabio in the Nsawam-Edwardri municipality, this is Gabriel Ni Obodai Togbashon report.
Away from that, Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, David Osafo Adontin, has said that compared to the first quarter of last year, there have been drastic reduction in accidents and number of deaths, alluding to the vigilance of security services. He added that the Easter festive season has been a quiet one.
The police did not only do enforcement on the road, but they were also with us at the lorry terminals, the loading points, engaging. You see, it did not go like arrest all the time. But let us find out the challenges and difficulties of people when such occasions, occur. You know what? People want to maximize their lot. Over the years, perhaps they have missed Easter to the extent that now they want to make up the difference. So let us go 10 times, 20 times, not like previously. This is the time that you find a number of people packed at the various lorry terminals. They want to go to, very anxious to go to their destinations, and so they run them very quickly. In doing so, they are so hasty. They want to run very fast. They overtake anyhow. And some of them even want to strengthen themselves by taking in some alcohol and some stuff to be able to stay strong and kind of. But this wasn't the time. I must say that the deployment from the National Road Safety Authority backed by the police made it impossible for some of them to misbehave. And so there were limited misbehavior on the stretch. I must say that almost every 2, 3, 4 kilometers you find the National Road Safety Authority presence and the police also. And I must say that the partnership has worked so much to the extent that we are not talking about statistics that are full of deaths and injuries. For example, this very one you are referring to happened on the Scarp, where this bus, I am sure, as a result of incompetence on the part of that driver, veering, trying to maneuver in a sharp curve with a certain speed, automatically you will fall. But thank God, we did not record any death.
Let's take you to the courts where the embattled Asin North MP James Jachi through his lawyers has filed 2 motions at the Cape Coast Appeals Court. In the latest suit, the legislator is seeking a releasement of his appeal and a stay of execution of the High Court's judgment as of July 28, 2021.
In his latest suit, James Jachi is seeking a releasement of his appeal at the Cape Coast Appeals Court, which earlier threw his case out of failure to comply with the court's directive. The legislator also seeks a stay of execution of the Cape Coast High Court's judgment on July 28, 2021, which granted an injunction to prevent him, James Jachi, from holding himself as a Member of Parliament for Asin North constituency. This latest suit by the plaintiff James Jachi is the second by him before the appeals court on same matter. The first appeal suit was short-lived due to his failure to adhere to the 21-day directive of the Cape Coast Appeal Court to file all documents to the case. Early on Wednesday, April 13, 2022, the Member of Parliament was injuncted by the Supreme Court through a 5-2 majority from holding himself as a Member of Parliament until all substantive matters have been dealt with. The decision has raised several questions from the minority who say the decision of the Apex Court was out of place and described it as a travesty of democracy. To the Attorney General, who doubled as the Minister of Justice, the decision of the Supreme Court as read by the President of the Court, Justice Jones Doche, is far-fetched.
Away from that, the Municipal Chief Executive for Kasina Nankana, Joseph Adongo, has expressed worry over an abandoned 12-unit classroom block about 90% complete in Adongo Senior High School. According to him, the contractors are yet to give any reason for stalling the project, demanding that he mobilizes and resumes the construction works.
The Adongo Senior High School, the first model SHS in the Upper East region, is never spared with some insurmountable infrastructure defects since its establishment, in spite of the consistent support from the Old Students Association of the school. Teachers and students of the school have expressed worry over a 12-unit classroom block project which has stalled since last year. A teacher of the school, Simon Awinya, told Metro News that the project, which was awarded on contract in 2018, if fully executed and handed over, will serve more than 500 students and lessen congestion in the classrooms.
Congest the pressure that is in the classroom. In fact, if this building completes, the crowdness of the students in the classroom, it will help reduce.
The MC noted the growing student population warranted the completion of the classroom project. He is demanding the contractor does the needful.
Interacted with the contractor, but I think if there are issues, he should come forward. Let us discuss and know the way forward. Because sometimes it could be that he has not even prepared the certificates well, or he has not sent them, or they are still working on them, or there is something.
On the issue of water crisis in the municipality, the MCE indicated that the assembly, with support from the central government and its development partners, is working assiduously to reverse the trend. According to him, the assembly had drilled 13 boreholes for some communities this year alone.
Navrongo is not a small community, and talking about water, I think we are not yet there where we can say everybody is okay, everybody has got water. But I can say that the efforts that government is putting in place to make sure that we have enough water here is very encouraging.
He therefore pleaded with residents, especially the rural folks, to exercise restraint as plans were far advanced in the communities.
Newsbeat returns after this break. Hello again. Let's take you back to our earlier story where the Asin North MP James Jachi Kwesi, through his lawyers, has filed 2 motions at the Cape Coast Appeals Court. In the latest suit, the legislator is seeking a releasement of his appeal and a stay of execution of the High Court's judgment as of July 28, 2021. Let's have a conversation on the back of this, and joining me on phone is a member of the NDC's legal team, Baba Jamal, for more on this. Thank you very much for joining me, Jamal. As a member of the legal team, what do you intend to achieve with the releasement of your case at the appeals court, which certainly threw out your case out after failing to comply with its directive?
Let me make it clear that these processes that have been filed since March this year. So it's not like it's a fresh thing that we've gone to file. We filed for to relist our case, our appeal, and then also for a stay of execution. Yes, these 2 processes were filed earlier, even before the plaintiffs' lawyers went to the Supreme Court for this injunction that is confusing everybody. So there are 2 pending cases. One before the appeals court, that is the listing application, and the other is the interpretation of Article 94(2)(a), which has never been interpreted. And we, from the High Court, we prayed the High Court to refer this article to the Supreme Court in line with Article 132 to ensure that we have an understanding of what exactly we are dealing with at the High Court. But the High Court refused to listen to us and then went ahead to give its judgment based on that. So now, so that is what makes it interesting, because if the High Court has given a judgment that concerns Article 94(2), now the Supreme Court is here to interpret Article 94(2)(a). Now, when the Supreme Court interprets it and it goes in favor of the respondent, what becomes of the judgment of the High Court? That's why we find the decision of the Supreme Court to injunct the Asin North MP as a travesty of justice is premature, and also creating the impression that the decision on the interpretation has been predetermined.
Right. The Attorney General has said that he supports a by-election in that constituency. As a member of the legal team, what do you make of that?
That Attorney General
Hello, Honorable.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
It is sad that on general on government around, because he is aware and he knows that the decision by the Supreme Court has not taken the seat away from the MP, Mr. Dekwesi. Mr. Dekwesi is still the MP for Adongo. He has just been injuncted and prevented from doing his work. So how can you go for a by-election when the seat is not yet vacant? So it's a very sad situation that he goes around, and it's sad that he makes politics with law and make those unfortunate and sad statements.
But the court has already said that he should refrain from holding himself as MP or, performing duties of an MP. But here you are saying that he's still the MP. Which is which?
Has he been sacked as MP? Did you listen to the decision of the Supreme Court? Have you read what they have decided? They have injuncted him and have asked him not to attend on Parliament, and has also asked him not to hold himself up as an MP. But does that take away the seat from him? It doesn't take away the seat from him. It doesn't. So he's still the MP. Nobody can dispute that. The injunction is just, for example, you as host of this program, if you are interdicted, have you been sacked? Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, if you are interdicted, are you sacked? You need to answer the question. That answers the question that we are talking about. So, he has been injuncted. When you are injuncted, you are not sacked. You are not removed from the seat. The seat is not vacant. As we talk now, the seat is not vacant. There are two pending issues, as I said earlier, still pending before the Appeals Court and the Supreme Court. Until all those issues are determined and all other legal processes has been exhausted, Mr. Dekwesi is still the MP for Asinov, and so no amount of propaganda or loose talks will make the seat vacant.
Okay. Honorable Baba Jamal, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. To more stories, as the headmaster of Athetuku Senior High School, Michael Mensah, has kicked against the assertion that free senior high school program has compromised quality education in the country. He emphasized that such perception has no basis.
Athetuku Senior High School, popularly known as OKES, was established in July 1937 as the first ever secondary school in the Ashanti region. Formerly known as the Ashanti College, was started as a private educational institution with just a handful of boys students by the late J.T. Roberts. The school was absorbed into the public system in 1962 to provide relevant education to all Ghanaians at all levels and to equip and produce graduates with intellectual, moral, and innate capabilities to be useful and responsible at any level of service. According to the headmaster of the school, Michael Mensah, occurs as one of the many senior high schools in the country which has seen tremendous improvements in the academic performance due to the emergence of the free senior high school program. He, however, appealed to government and other benevolent organizations to come to the aid of the school to complete some infrastructure development to boost access.
The school has never chalked this success, but it is through the implementation of the free SHS policy that we've been able to chalk this success. The government is supplying textbooks for free, so quality is never compromised under free SHS. Teachers are right now that we have quality teachers who are administering good tutorials to the student.
The Municipal Chief Executive Officer of Atafo Municipal Assembly, Lord Inusa Lansa, who graced the occasion, pledged his commitment to revamp the school to ensure it regains its glory as the first ever senior high school established in the region.
As the first second cycle institution in the Ashanti region, we will do all that we can to make the anniversary celebration a befitting one of Athetuku Senior High School. We've seen fantastic men and women who have passed through the school, what we are still achieving as a school. And I, as the municipal chief executive, pledge my support and that of the assembly that we will do all we can to bring back the good days of Athetuku Senior High School.
An old student of the school, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Joaben Rural Bank, Augustine Damwa, took the opportunity to encourage students of the school to strive harder to study in order to attain good social status in life.
They should actually, in fact, be serious with their education. No, it's all about, this is what OKES has done for us. And I tell them, during that day, there are so many opportunities that we didn't get. They should be very serious with their academic and then their studies. They should take it seriously. And we also pray, and we support them actually, in fact, with prayers, that where we are now, we expect them to actually go beyond that.
Let's talk Easter, as the celebration is usually filled with parties, get-togethers and fun. As the Easter holidays slowly come to an end, we're once again faced with issues of sanitation and the rains. Let's get on to the phone lines and speak with Seth Athetuku, who is the Zoomlion General Manager for Accra District, to find out the sanitation situation in town and what measures are being put in place to keep the city clean. Thank you very much for joining me, Seth. How would you describe the sanitation situation in Accra as the Easter holidays gradually come to an end?
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers and listeners as well. We are in the festive mood. As you know, sanitation has increased a lot. The volume, both the volume and efficiency has also increased. However, Zoomlion, as you all know, one of the giant waste management company in the country, is doing all its best to be able to contain and sustain the situation. We have introduced more compassion trucks in and around town to be able to contain it. Workers are around doing it. But then one of the issues that we all realize is as the rains are setting in, people are pushing in the waste into drains and a whole lot of issues. So we are just appealing to them. You see, when you push refuse onto the ground, it costs as much as 3 times when it is in the bin. Okay? So we are appealing to residents, citizens, everybody to take advantage of the 1 million bin distribution of Zoomlion, so that when they get the bin, they put the waste into it, a car comes and then convey it at the end of the day, so that it will not be, the whole area will not be littered. I think that is what we are doing. As for collection and then sustainability, Zoomlion is ever ready, pushing in more trucks and a whole lot of things into it to make sure that the place is very clean. That's what we are doing for now.
Okay. The rainy season have already set in. Are there special plans to, curtail the filth in the society when, this season starts?
Yes, that's what I earlier on said. Zoomlion has got in something called 1 million bin distribution. The target is to distribute 1 million bin to every household in Greater Accra region, for that matter, the country. And then has put in a place, compassion tracks, a system, a program known as Operation Clean Your Frontage that was launched by the regional minister. We are all talking about clean environment here and there to curb out diseases and all sorts of things. So we are appealing to everybody to take every household to take one bin, one dustbin, so that when you generate your refuse, you just put it in, so that whether it rains or not, the refuse is intact in the container. At the end of the day, a truck comes and then pick it, so that we stop littering anywhere. As I've already said, when you put a bin and a waste onto the ground, it costs as much as 3 times removing it from whether it is than the one in the bin. The bin is very, very, very free. That is it. At the end of the month, you just pay something to whichever company that is around. Zoomlion is everywhere now. You can liaise with the coordinators, the supervisors, the district managers everywhere. You ask them, they give you the bin. At the end of the month, you pay them something small. And then we move on so that we can be able to contain the refugee situation in the country.
Right. Seth Athetuku, thank you very much for speaking to us. Let's take you to the Volta region, where the people of Dagbamate in the Akachi South district of the region have celebrated the annual Athetuku Festival after battling with COVID-19 for 2 years. Speaking during the celebration, Paramount Chief of Achiame Traditional Area, Togbe Slamafo, appealed to government to make days for celebrating traditional festivals.
Democracy is what is ruling the world today. And when you say democracy, it doesn't discriminate. So, and as a shrine in our constitution, the Ghanaian constitution, there is freedom of worship. And everybody must respect his or her worship. For that matter, if Christians have their holidays during Christmas festivities and Easter festivities, and Muslims have their holidays as well, why don't you give the traditional worshippers their holidays as well, so that we don't see it as if they are being discriminated against? You understand what I'm saying? So this is an appeal that we are making to the government. We've been saying this to successive governments, but then till today, we haven't received any good message from them. So we still want to use your medium to appeal to them, so that in the spirit, in good spirit, they should grant that traditional worshippers to holiday. Because if you put them together, they are more than Christians and Muslims together within the country. Traditional worshipping is not a sin, and it will be interesting that they take time to study the way they worship and accept them as such, just as how they also accept other religious practices.
We'll go for another break. We'll be back shortly. In business today, government treasury bills fell massively by 66.8% despite the increase in policy rate by the Bank of Ghana. Auctioning results by the Bank of Ghana revealed that government was only able to secure 733 million Ghana cedis from a whopping target of 2.21 billion Ghana cedis. Government, however, accepted 727.72 million Ghana cedis of the sale of the short-term securities. This comes as a shock due to the expectations that the Treasury market will respond positively to the increase in the Bank of Ghana's base lending rate, same as the reaction of the foreign exchange market. However, investors did not react as total amount purchased did not even meet half of the targeted amount of 2 billion Ghana cedis. All the Treasury instruments were sold below the policy rate of 17%. A cursory look at the results showed that the investors who bought the Treasury bills rather went in for the 91-day and 1-year bills because their interest rates were relatively better. A little above 434 million Ghana cedis was mobilized from the sale of the 91-day Treasury bills at an interest rate of 14.14%, while 222.37 million Ghana cedis was secured from the auctioning of the 1-year bill at a yield of 17.10%. 72.65 million Ghana cedis were however mobilized from the sale of the 182-day Treasury bills at an interest rate of 14.51%. Fuel prices will remain stable throughout the month of April. The Institute for Energy Security has projected. IES attributed the projected stability in prices to the drop in prices of petroleum products on the international market in the last pricing window.
In its review of the April 2022 first pricing window from April 1st to April 16, 2022, the IES found that Brent crude price stayed mostly below the $110 per barrel mark, closing the window below $5,100 per barrel. For the window under assessment, prices reached an average of $104.98 per barrel, representing a 3.03% reduction over the previous window's average price of $108.27 per barrel, it said. Gasoline price fell marginally by 1.06% from its initial price of $1,060.23 per metric ton to the end date price of $149.02 per metric ton, it added. The institute, however, indicated that the cedi, which was a major variable in determining fuel prices locally, depreciated by 1.44% to close at 7 cedis 79 pesos to the dollar from the earlier window's rate of 7 cedis 68 pesos to the dollar. For the remainder of April 2022, with a 1.5% cedi depreciation against the dollar, 1.06% fall in petrol price, 3.65% fall in diesel price, and 3.72% fall in the price of LPG per metric ton, the IES projects relative stability in the price of fuel on the local market.
That's it for business. Entertainment news is next. Zanzibar, one of the most preferred tourist destinations in Africa, is currently receiving lots of criticism after a Nigerian female traveler, Zainab, shared on Twitter a horrifying experience meted to her during the 2021 trip to celebrate her 23rd birthday.
Warara Beach in Nungwe, Zanzibar, is having its reputable image defamed by socialites who haven't even made a presence at their property. Many warnings and concerns have been raised by netizens saying Warara Beach is not a safe place for tourists who would want to spend some wonderful moment owing to the fresh allegation put forward by Nigerian tourist Zainab Uladdin Hinde. Zainab, in a series of tweets, narrated how she decided to visit the aforementioned hotel to celebrate her 23rd birthday and have some fun. However, on her birthday, the unforeseen occurred to her in the wee hours of the day. According to Zainab, she had a horrifying experience where an unidentified man stormed her room to steal her money and almost had his way with her. Her public outcry has elicited mixed several reactions from people who in turn have advised themselves that Warara Beach is not a place they would ever dream of visiting. After this story trended on Twitter, the hotel has gone from 4.5 star to 1.1 star review and has been permanently closed.
That's it for now, but before we go, a look again at our top stories. What's possible for Asin North MP James Chachi Kwesi, having filed 2 motions at the Cape Coast Appeals Court seeking a releasement of his appeal and a stay of execution of the High Court's July 28th judgment. We spoke with a legal team member of the embattled MP. 46-year-old farmer Alex Kwenu in the Asin South District of the Central Region shoots his wife after she failed to give him 2 cedis to buy alcohol. 6 suspects arrested in a special operation by the police in connection with a series of robbery attacks, including carjacking in the Greater Accra and Central regions. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Bye for now.